Consider. They have to consider moving on from Juwan Howard. They have to consider it. Now, before everybody gets all up in a tizzy, consider what I'm about to say to you.
Tizzy.
Michigan has to consider moving on from Juwan Howard, not because his offense or his action is necessarily fireable, but Michigan has to understand they are on the hook for Juwan Howard's actions. In life, especially when you talk in big business, you have to understand who and what are you responsible for.
Facts.
If Juwan Howard does, in fact, do this again, now all of a sudden people are looking at you, Michigan, as though your hiring and firing practices are negligent. People are looking at Michigan, the greater corporation, the greater entity is, wait a second, now y'all are in the wrong. If I was that Badgers coach that got hit in the face, I'll tell you this right now.
What's up?
I got a high-grade concussion. I have blurred vision, and I can't hear out my left ear for at least a year.
Ambulance chaser. Look at you.
And I am.
Oh, you.
So Michigan has to understand that they are on the hook for Juwan Howard and his behavior.
Okay.
But here's the real thing. Let's remove Juwan Howard from it so we can remove some of the sting from the take. Okay. Last year, Big Ten tournament, Juwan Howard has to be restrained by his coaching staff from getting into an altercation. Yesterday, playing Wisconsin, Juwan Howard isn't restrained. Now Juwan Howard actually connects with somebody. That's Big Ten tournament. Then we see yesterday, Juwan Howard actually makes contact. In your mind, you have to ask yourself, what would happen next? If y'all are in a relationship, yes, you at home watching the show, you're in a relationship, and you're leaving a club with your significant other, and somebody bumps into your significant other, and all of a sudden your significant other starts cussing at him, and you got to hold your significant other back. Then a week later, you're leaving the club again. Somebody bumps into your significant other, and your significant other mushes them in the face. You are going to be a little mindful that, wait a second, it is escalating.
Yes.
So the first time somebody bumped into him, I had to hold my significant other back. The next time somebody bumped into him, my significant other mushed him in the face. What might happen the next time somebody bumps into them?
Pop, pop. Oh, sorry, too much.
That is the question Michigan is on the hook for. That is the issue that Michigan has to ask itself. Should they fire Juwan Howard? In my mind, in my opinion, absolutely not. But should they consider it because of the potential ramifications if something happens again? You got to consider it, or they would be negligent not to.
Don't consider terminating Juwan Howard.
Talk to me, big dog.
He didn't start this, so this shouldn't finish him. Let's be real about this. Gard started this. Now, how did it get started? Juwan Howard was in his feelings. He was in his coaching feelings. Juwan, I don't know you like that. Matter of fact, I don't know you at all, but I feel like I know you because you helped raise me. That Fab Five boy, them baggy shorts boy, did something to me. Here's the thing. When you're out there as a player, especially a reserve player, and Wisconsin had 5 reserves. At the time, Michigan had 2 starters, 3 reserves. This is your moment. I don't give a damn what the score says. This is my moment to shine. Even if it's for 14 seconds, I got to go out there and play to the whistle. I play all out. I play the entire game. Guess what, coach? That means you coach the entire game as well. So when you want to go out there full court press, okay. Guess what Wisconsin's allowed to do? They're allowed to call timeouts to let these reserves have an opportunity to go out there and play to the end of the game against that same full court press, especially when the shot clock, or getting past half court, was down to 4 seconds. Respect. I'm not mad at that. But Juwan was. But that didn't start this. Juwan was in his feelings, but he was in his feelings. Then he walked by in the mandatory box-checking handshake line. And I want to remind people, you don't have to shake hands in the handshake line. How many times I walk by cats, usually high school, Pop Warner even, that didn't shake hands? Who gives a damn? That lets me know, alert, I got to you. I got you in your feelings if you ain't shaking my hands. But even in the pros, where we don't have mandatory handshake lines, but we have, let's say, the national anthem. You ain't got to sing. You ain't got to put your hand over your heart. Just check the box, right? So I'm still not mad at Juwan Howard in this moment, but this wouldn't it all change. You talk about escalation?
Talk to me.
I had words for you. Hey, man, I'm going to remember this. Okay. These are contentious words, okay? But that still doesn't give you the right to all of a sudden violate my physical space and physical domain. Once you grab me, we've went to a different place. Now, even in this place, if I'm Juwan Howard, I don't respond because now you saw what happened. The kids were the adults in the room. The kids were sitting there like, what the hell are y'all doing? But Juwan Howard still didn't start it. Once he goes into the Michigan's AD and he sits there and he's like, look, this isn't your first offense, so we got a little issue. But then Juwan Howard will be let off the hook by this simple fact. He touched me. He started this. Whatever came from that, Juwan Howard putting his hands on another coach, players all of a sudden starting to fight. All of this escalation didn't come from Juwan Howard being in his coaching feelings, and it didn't come from him talking trash in the handshake line. It came from another man putting his hands on him, and that's going to get him off the hook, no termination.
I'm going to get back to that he touched me because I love that point. We will get back
Don't
there.
touch me, dog. Don't touch me, dog.
But I got to break this down for all y'all, and I think y'all know this, but if y'all don't, let me remind you. There are some professions that allow you to do certain things that other professions do not allow you to do. Let me make this plain and simple. If you are a pastor, you cheat on your wife, you will no longer be a head lead pastor. If you are a comedian and you cheat on your wife, you're likely going to get a new Netflix special. If you are a graffiti artist and you spray paint a wall, you might be able to sell that if you extract the wall. If I go out on these streets and spray paint a wall, I will likely end up in Los Angeles County Jail. If you are a bouncer and you put your hands on somebody, you're going to get a raise. But if you are a coach and you put your hands on somebody, you might get terminated. Because based on your profession, you have different punishments for your actions.
Okay.
So we have to understand what is Juwan Howard's profession and what was his action, because profession usually dictates the outcome of the punishment of the action. Now, to your beautiful point of Juwan Howard might get off the hook because he touched me.
It was beautiful.
Here's my issue, Sel. Doesn't this argument sound so MJ-ish?
Who, Michael Jordan this weekend?
No, sir.
Magic Johnson.
Your 6-year-old son.
Hey, you bringing him up in what spirit? Now, let me hear.
Feel me? Like,
I know.
But Daddy, he touched me.
Oh, yeah.
Are we talking about a 50-year-old grown man who's supposed to be leading young men? Here's the biggest issue that really nobody's paying enough attention to. If Juwan Howard puts his hands on another man, which he did, then how is he going to tell this locker room, hey, y'all don't fight. Hey, y'all play between the whistles. Hey, y'all, keep us on the court, on the court. If I see you, coach, doing this, then how you going to tell me what I can and cannot do? You've completely lost credibility within that domain.
Okay,
Juwan Howard hasn't lost credibility of his basketball acumen. He hasn't lost credibility of his NBA. He hasn't lost credibility of much of anything. But I know this much. Let you try to tell me what I can and cannot do. I'm going to be looking at you sideways. So that's the biggest issue, Sel, is like Juwan Howard at this point in time, he didn't lose his locker room, but he lost an aspect of, look, coach, you're not going to tell me how to act. And that, again, going back full circle, is why certain professions have certain issues. That's why the lead pastor can't step out. Because how are you going to get in front of a congregation preaching morality, but you immoral? But the comedian can step out because the comedian can get in front of their perspective conversation because their conversation isn't about morality. A head coach's conversation with his congregation, his teammates, his locker room rather, it's all about playing fairly, playing properly, playing legally. If you nullify that with your own actions, it's almost nullified within the team.
Strong, very strong. Taking me good places, new places. First of all, I give names and numbers when you talk about pastors and you talk about comedians. I know my pastor actually, I don't know if it was stepping out, but he got divorced. Let's just say that. And he was a good-looking dude. Let's just say that. And we know who you're talking about, the comedian. I ain't going to call him out. He ain't funny either. So here's the thing. Not that funny. Here we go. Oh, boy, Acho. You're wrong. Even though I know you gave us a strong case to make us think you're right, you're wrong. You bring MJ into it. And you know what? I had to learn from my own experiences. And I'm going to use the AD at Michigan to prove my point. Here's a quote from the AD of Michigan. I am aware of and watched the end of our men's basketball game. There is no excuse for any of our staff or student athletes to get into a physical altercation with others, regardless of instigating factors. He lying. I had to learn this one talking to my son because I finally started to hear the words that were always professed to me growing up. You shouldn't fight for any reason. I was like, but there are reasons. So let's talk about it. What one reason that MJ should fight? Got to protect himself.
sir.
There's a reason why MJ has to protect himself. Someone's trying to bully him. Or self-defense, just whatever it is. I told him 3 times, Daddy. He kept putting his finger in my face. Okay, well, get his finger out your face, right? Same with this, Michigan AD. There is a reason why all of a sudden your guys should be getting into a physical altercation. You want to know that reason, Michigan AD? They started the physical altercation. Hello. Whoa. Did Juwan Howard start a physical altercation? Yes or no, Acho? You know he did.
No, sir.
Greg Gard did. So what can he tell his locker room? You worrying about what Juwan Howard can say to his locker room. What can Greg say? Hey, man, if somebody walks up to you and says something you don't like, just put your hands on them. Let's see how far that's going to go in Wisconsin with the Badgers. So to that take, what you said, it sounds so just and right and ethical. But the devil's in the details, especially when you don't start it. So the only argument I'm truly making is because Juwan Howard didn't start what everyone's going to try to condemn him of, which is the physical altercation, guess what? He's going to get off the hook.
But here's my issue, big dog. Gard didn't really start an altercation.
Hey, man.
He started the physical contact. But define altercation, Sel? If you and I are walking out the studio.
You alter my path.
If you and I
physically.
are walking out the studio and I put my hand on your shoulder, in theory, I started a physical
Were we
altercation.
beefing before that?
No.
Well, then that ain't even the context. Don't even do that. That gas ain't beating this fire.
Here's why I say this.
Okay, let's
Because Juwan Howard did not want to shake Gard's hand at all.
Why should he?
He said, I'm going to remember that.
Hell
and
yeah.
he shouldn't have to.
You ain't got
but
to.
But I understand Gard was sitting there like, wait, he upset. Let me, hey, coach, wait.
Let me go.
Correct. And Juwan was like, don't touch me.
Facts.
So, do you not, I fully understand Juwan's point.
MJ, hit him.
Dog.
Hit him, MJ.
Don't touch me.
Put your hands
but
back on
I also understand, you've been in this situation before, where somebody does you wrong, and they don't want you to be upset at the wrong they've done you, so they're trying to calm you down.
Yeah.
That's what Gard did. He ran Juwan Howard hot. Like, he did him wrong. But Gard was like, wait, I don't want you to be that upset. Don't be that upset at me. Let's talk this through. Juwan Howard was like, we ain't got nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
We ain't got nothing to talk about. You want to talk, we ain't got nothing to talk about. I don't know if Juwan will get off the hook.
Ooh.
Because if his premise of getting off the hook was, well, he touched me first. That's a very
that's not his premise.
40-year-old argument, not a 40-year-old.
My son's 6, first of all. You better check yourself before he puts some hands on you, too. My son's strong, too. He puts some hands in your world. Here we go. 2 things. One, an altercation, physical altercation, is when you're going to alter the circumstances and physically alter my path with your hands, with your body, some form or fashion you got outside of the context of us just discussing things. Even contentious as they were, that's still discussion. These words, they do hurt, but they don't hurt the same as these hands. And once you start putting and you know what the worst part about it is? The most demeaning part about this is, and it's sad because this also has some racial undertones to it I've seen on Twitter as well, but I didn't take it like this. I took it like this. You were right. Greg Gard was like, hey, man, I did you wrong. Let me just stop this before it starts brewing.
Yes, that part.
But here's the flip of that. Greg Gard may also be saying, hey, man, you ain't got the right to be mad at me in this situation because Greg Gard may be thinking he's a superior to Juwan Howard. He may be thinking that Juwan Howard, I don't want you walking off. I don't want you talking trash. I don't want you in your feelings. Matter of fact, I don't want you to feel anything except what I want you to feel, which goes back to my initial point. You ain't got the right to feel what you feel. Juwan Howard had the moment to walk by him, or he had the moment to shake his hand. He said, I'm going to take the lesser. I'm going to be less of a mature adult in this moment. A little childish, right? I'm going to walk by him. But not as childish as grabbing him. But Greg Gard said, no, that ain't good enough. I won't let you be.
Correct.
And then Greg Gard could have a superiority complex where he's trying to make the man feel like he can't even feel what he want to feel.
I agree with you. On that point.
Ain't right.
But don't you think in that moment, was Greg Gard trying to escalate the situation or was Greg Gard trying to de-escalate the situation? Juwan Howard is, I'm going to remember that. Greg Gard, was he trying to escalate in your professional opinion or was he trying to de-escalate? Because that to me matters. Okay. I don't think Greg Gard was, I'm going to remember this. Hey, big dog, then remember it then.
No, that ain't the only way you can escalate something. Another way you can escalate something is you don't let somebody properly exhale what they are feeling, what they're dealing with, right? You need a moment. We've done this on the show before, and I know when to read it. So, first of all, I'm not a fighter. Everything I'm saying for Juwan Howard, trust me, everything I'm saying for Greg Gard, if that were me in that situation, you could damn near bump me and knock me down. I'd be like, oh, man, whatever. that check cashing. I'm still the leader of these men. Okay, let's go. I'm not tripping on all this. You disrespected me. I don't play that game. You know how many times my shoes got stepped on in the club? You know how many times cats looked at me and tried to clown? Respect. You know how I get my respect? Being on top. And I'm not even looking down to see if you down there. So I don't play this game, but I know how this game is played. To your point, he wasn't trying to instigate this, but if you don't let somebody breathe, you don't let somebody have their space, you don't let somebody just say, look, let me stay in my own zone, and you try to penetrate their zone, and what's your intention of penetrating it? Because you think they don't deserve one, or you think you're superior, or you just don't think. Like, this is not a moment where you can change it. What occurred was during the game. What Juwan's feeling is something that happened already. You're not changing that because you can't change that reality. Gard miscalculated it. If not, he actually was mal in his intent to try to come at him.
So you think that Gard in that instance then should have just let Juwan Howard stay upset, keep it pushing, not try to explain the situation, not trying to be like, hey, what you upset for? You think just
cooler heads prevail. Dog, if me and you have a topic, it used to be us when we used to talk Dallas, like our first couple of times we talked Dallas. I wanted to beat you up. I ain't gonna lie. But I don't fight, so I ain't know what to do. So here's the thing. But it's like, okay, now right after that take, is that the time to say, Acho, hey, you know what happens? Cooler heads prevail. You know what happens? Next day we get on the call, they're like, dog, Dallas got hot on us. Yeah, I know, big dog. We gotta calm down. But if I do it in the moment, when the emotions are too high, your heart rate's at 180, bruh. Ain't nobody trying to hear all that. And Gard, I think, knew that. And then he tried to test him. And Juwan had to go get him and put hands on everybody.